Not good.
Yeah, so I had to
Not
finish
good.
with the update. Yeah. Right. Good to see you, my brother.
You too. You too, cuz.
Oh, yeah. So, do you want to do the opening remarks for
Yep.
this? Yeah, please.
Welcome to our listeners and our viewers on another Alien Spaceship podcast. Much to talk about today, which hopefully you can find reasonably interesting. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cuz. Welcome to the show. So
Indeed.
today, today, we have a very brave
Yes,
man. We have a very courageous.
not at all. Not at all, cuz. Well, of
Apologies.
course, we covered, if you think back to last week and I think the week before, we were looking at the pros and cons of being a man and the pros and cons of being a woman. So we kind of got through a fair bit of this stuff. We got through for example, the pros of being a man. I think we covered in about 10 seconds flat, didn't we? Because there aren't many. It seems to me sometimes. But we did the pros and the cons in
Yeah.
a very balanced way. We then took a bit of a chance, bit of a flyer last week because we didn't have any of the female variety with us on the podcast. So
No.
we sort of dared to put our own points of view in on that. Having said that, a lot of the info we talked about was a result of surveys with women and research. So we're not quite out on a limb. And really, to finish off today on that is about perhaps some of the disadvantages, some of the cons of being a woman, either as we see them or, as I say, as a result of a statistical sample of women being asked in research terms, and then they give their answers. So some of that will be from there. So if we just think back just briefly to cover some of the pros of being female, can you remember any of those from last week?
Well, they get to um they are I did say they were kind and caring. So
Yeah.
any woman listening out there, take note of that one.
And of course, it's worth saying, of course, that any comments we make or are made in research terms
Yeah,
are generalizations, as with us men. I mean, not every man is like every other man, and the same
yeah.
with women. So doesn't necessarily mean that all women are whatever we're going to suggest they are. But carry on. So you said that, yeah, you got a house point there for saying that with the women, I think.
Yeah, I think we did say that they are obviously they have the ability to bear children, and we don't.
No.
So to have babies, we don't have that. We don't have that.
Is that a
And
pro or a con, though, to women, do you think?
well,
It's a reasonable question, isn't it?
it is, isn't it?
Is
Yeah.
it a pro or a con?
I think it's a pro actually. Because having to have a human being inside you and
Yeah,
then nurture it inside you for 9 months, you can never know how that feels. Having a
we
human
never
being,
will we?
yeah,
We never will. No.
inside you, and then after 9 months, get to meet this human being,
Mm,
and then get to start learning about this human being because every child is unique. It doesn't
yeah.
matter if she's had 10 children, the next one is always different, isn't it? If she's had 10 children, the next one is always different, isn't it? Now, we don't know how it feels for women, but we're just saying it in general terms, aren't we?
Mm,
And just having that feeling of having somebody that they sort of attach to to that person, aren't they? They really they form a
Mm,
bond, an unbreakable attachment, unless, of course, if they do develop some form of, mental illness, and then,
mm,
some women do turn against their children. But otherwise, the majority form an unbreakable bond. Can you imagine you trying to say, for instance, even dogs? If a dog's just had puppies, you'd be very careful to go anywhere around those
yeah.
puppies because they are very, very protective, aren't they?
Mm,
And how much more humans that have more, they have more ability they have more ability to feel emotional things, have a
yeah.
bond with. So it's much more into. So that men can never. So I think it's a pro because you can never feel
Mm,
that. You can never experience that. You can never know how it feels. Just like you said the other day about being kicked in the crotch. You will never.
mm.
Women will
Did
never
I
know.
say that? Did I say that? I don't think they were the exact words I used. I think I was rather more medically precise than that, wasn't
Right.
I?
Okay. Sorry, I was a bit crude there. But so just like women would never know how that feels, men would
Mm,
never ever know how it feels to have a child, to have a
mm.
bond with a human being. It's another human being.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
definitely a pro. However, the process might not be so considered a pro, but then
Mm.
the the joy or the happiness that comes afterwards sort of sort of feels it.
Outweighs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's sort of I don't know what word to use there, but it sort of covers the pain that they've had.
Mm.
So either way, it's a pro.
It compensates. Yeah, compensates for the
That's the
pain.
word, yeah. Compensates for the
Yeah,
pain.
but I agree with you. I mean, the knowledge, not just at the time of the birth, but
Yeah.
throughout life for the woman, for the mother, and the child, it's an incredible thing, I guess, for a woman to
Yes.
know, to look at that offspring at any age, baby, toddler, teenager, adult, and think that that human being